Hello everybody, it's Julia here again, and today I'm here with a video, first impressions kind of review video of this lovely little deck here, the GREER Tarot, which I have bought the pocket-sized version in a tin. And this is my first deck in a tin. I'm loving it, to be honest. I think it's great. It's a lovely sized little deck. I love the fact that it's come in a tin. I think it would be great if you were travelling or visiting somebody and you could just put this in your bag and know that it wouldn't get damaged or bashed about. I love this really. I bought a small pocket-sized deck. This is my first, just because I thought it would be really useful with clarifying some of my readings. It's nice to have a big card and then a smaller tarot card to clarify with. So that was why I was looking for a sort of pocket size, mini sized deck. And I've never really paid much attention, to be honest, to this GREER deck. But when I looked it up online and I looked at some of the cards, I just sort of fell in love with the colours of them. The colours are so bright and vivid, and they're just so easy to read, I think, really. I think this would be a brilliant deck for beginners. I think that this is one of the first modern decks, sort of based upon the combined research of Arthur Edward Waite and Paul Foster Case, who made the Rider-Waite deck. Yeah, that's what I'm just reading here, actually. It says the tarot's popularity did not flourish until after the turn of this century, with the emergence of the Rider-Waite deck and the interpretations of the ancient symbols by authorities such as Arthur Edward Waite and Paul Foster Case. The GREER Tarot was the first modern deck based upon the combined research of these two leaders in the field. So yeah, and like I said, I'd not really been that aware of this deck and not really paid it much attention, because I've got, I think now 4 decks of Rider-Waite-Smith cards, and I love all of those. So I sort of hadn't felt that I needed another deck, but when I looked at these, I was just blown away by them, actually, and I can already see them becoming a fast favourite for me. The deck comes with this tiny little guidebook here, which, if you're a beginner, kind of has enough to get you started. There's a sample spread in here, and there's a lot of keywords that relate to each of the cards. I don't tend to take too much notice of those, to be honest. So these are the cards. I really like the back of the cards, actually. I think they're quite, they stand out, don't they? I really like the blue, the brightness of them. So let me go through the cards with you and show you them. As I said, you can see why I would like them. The colours, the imagery is really bright and stands out. It's really vivid, and I think there's quite an emotional quality to these cards, because they're so colourful. I found, as I've started collecting tarot cards, that the more colourful they are, the more they kind of resonate with me. Yeah, I do very much like the colours in this. I think colours speak volumes, don't they, to us emotionally and intuitively. Do you know, this card makes me laugh so much. As soon as I picked the deck up, this made me laugh. I mean, it's lovely in itself, you know, the lovers with the lilies and everything there, but what made me laugh is his hairy bum. He's proper divine masculine, isn't he? Look at him there with his big muscular hairy bum. Just really, that has really made me giggle, that has. I think that's a good thing, to be honest. I think any tarot deck that makes you smile, that evokes a kind of emotional response within you, has got to be good. I like this Wheel of Fortune card here as well, because this is very clearly showing us that that as the wheel turns, sometimes we're at the top living it up, kind of living our best life, and sometimes we fall off. We're on the way down, but that there's this fluidity, there's this movement, that it's important not to resist, I think. These are very simple cards in many ways. They are what they are. That's very definitely the Death card, isn't it? All the correct symbologies there. We don't necessarily see the bright future ahead of us with this card, because in the Rider-Waite-Smith cards we see the sun in the distance. But I think there's enough information in these cards for us to kind of know what we're looking at. As I said, aren't the colours just beautiful? I think the blues, particularly in these decks, are just gorgeous, aren't they? Look at that, look, the bluey sort of purple colours. I really like this one here as well, the sun. I think that's great. The sun can represent things like your willpower, can't it? And with this card here, it's almost like these people are in a face-off, aren't they? It's like a battle of the wills. And the World card. So as you can see, they're very, very Rider-Waite-Smith inspired. I think if you'd learnt to read with Rider-Waite-Smith, you would be able to read these cards very easily. You would know the divinatory meanings of these cards very easily. But I think that there's, as I said, there's an emotional quality to these cards that I think brings a little something extra, another little dimension to them for me. So that's the Wands. There we go. And what have we got? The Pentacles. Just beautiful, rich colours, aren't they? Quite expressive faces, I think, as well, really. Look at that, look, the Nine of Pentacles, gorgeous, abundant. Somebody who has worked hard for all the beautiful things in her life. The yellows are so strong in these cards as well, aren't they? It's a beautiful Ace of Cups there. That's lovely, isn't it? I said such an emotional quality really to these cards. That's a very emotional card, isn't it? Oh, they're beautiful. The Queen of Cups. The King of Cups. It's almost like he's got sort of fish scales on his sort of armour and his clothes there. The Ace of Swords. Two of Swords, which is one of my favourite cards actually. I've always resonated quite strongly with that card. Look at that, look, that's a fantastic image, isn't it? Wow, look at that one, look. We normally see somebody sort of waking up from a nightmare there, don't we? This is the sort of the hands are tied. Oh, blimey, I don't know whether they're going to try and sort of free themselves on the swords here. But yeah, that's a bit of a nightmarish situation, isn't it? The Ten of Swords, always a very difficult card. Page of Swords. Knight of Swords. What's interesting, there's no horses with the knights in this deck, is there? Beautiful Queen of Swords. And the King of Swords. There we go, look. So, I hope you like those as much as I do. I'm really, really looking forward to using them, and as I suspected, they're just the perfect size for me to shuffle. I think I shall have to buy some more pocket-sized decks. They're lovely, actually. You'll probably have noticed if you've watched very many of my tarot reviews and first impressions decks that most of my decks that I've shown are quite mainstream, easily accessible decks that I've bought over the last year or that have been given to me. I've been reading tarot cards for about 30 years, but do you know, for the vast majority of that time I was just reading for myself or for friends, and I only had really one deck of tarot cards, my trusty old Rider-Waite, and a couple of decks of oracle cards. I had some goddess cards and soul oracle cards, I think, and that was it, and I was happy with that for such a long time. But since I've had my YouTube channel and I've been reading on camera, I've developed a little bit of an obsession about collecting and buying tarot cards. So and oracle cards as well. So I'm kind of a long way behind many of the other tarot readers and collectors on YouTube. So I've just been buying anything that's caught my eye or I've seen a good review on, things that I knew I could use and that I would enjoy. And I think I've now got, looking at my decks, I think I've now got maybe 40 or 50 decks of tarot and oracle cards, and like I said, I started out a year ago with 3. I would hope over time I shall bring you more reviews, more first impressions, and I hope to buy some more sort of indie decks really. I've been having a look on Etsy, and there's a shop, an online shop I think called the Little Red Tarot shop, perhaps, if I remember rightly. They do a lot of fantastic decks. So anyway, I'm rambling now, aren't I? So I thought you might just like to have a little look at that. I know that this deck has been around a long time, and I know that a lot of people have done reviews on it, but it's new to me and it was my first impressions really, and I love it, to be honest. So I look forward to using these cards in some videos coming up for you, and thanks for being here again. I hope that you enjoyed that and you found it useful. Please do leave me a comment in the messages bit underneath the video if you enjoyed that or you've got any feedback about the cards yourself. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and please do subscribe if you haven't done so already. That would be fantastic. So thank you, and see you again.